Hey guys, B.O.L.T here. So, um, hooray! Very last video for the weekend for this month. Um, it's going fast. Like, as of right now, I'm still, it's still January for me, but days are moving like that. And I feel like we just had New Year's and Christmas. Hell, it feels like we just had Thanksgiving. But anyways, now that this is done and said, I do also, for me, I still have to go make the Clone High all historical characters. And then I'm worrying about Dokkan Battle. Dokkan Battle will be some of our weekend videos. Currently, sadly, I've already knocked out 3 of the characters because they already, like, their awakening was already done, or they're not the main unit. And this is LRG, the GT Inc. trio. They were basically just a story. There was the LR Super 17, which I'm doing right now, which is just the blue 17's awakening. And then there's also the LR Janempa, who was just basically the green Janempa that transformed, and the I think it was either the red or the purple Janempa, the old one. But I think we still have Kale and Caulifla to do. The green one that transforms into Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, I have to do that one. All these things I didn't get the chance to do because I basically did one at a time. I basically earned all the units. I've been doing Z Awakening. I finished. Well, I have all of Brawly, the full powered Brawly, and I have all of the Gogeta Blue. And then I finished the red cooler. I still have yet to finish the metal cooler. But anyway, basically I'm just saying is we have almost done with January now. February's already getting planned out. Well, actually, no. What I'm saying, you guys already finished January. I'm still in it. This is the end of February. Oh. So, and we're about to go into March, and I'll have some Dokkan Battle for you guys. But anyways, from what I'm seeing, we might have like one more Charles video or 2 more. And then I don't know what I'm doing personally with Gotham Knights right now. The 31st video was just finished, and it's horrendous for me. That's the stupid interrogate situation. It's like, leave me alone, man. So if I can't get the mob thing interrogation to work, we won't be playing Gotham Knights anymore. Which is sad because I can finish the game. It's the mechanics. They're so fucking shitty. But anyways, and then I have to go back personally and finish off Fallen Order so I can delete it from my computer because Doom Eternal took a lot of space. And basically, since I'm 100%ing that on my way through, I can delete that as soon as I'm done with the videos on here. So Gotham Knights, I'm really trying to get through. But anyways, we're here for another reason. Welcome to the reimagining / what if for The Walking Dead AMC. Oh, so basically the biggest thing is I've read the comics, and I would like to impose a lot of that onto the AMC. Like, sure, actors did fantastic. Some of the stories did a lot better than the deadpanning not deadpan, but how extended it felt for the comics. Like, sure that we still had some filler, but not as much as I'd say the actual not manga. I've been doing anime recently. Comics. Anyway, season one, I believe, is probably a perfect setup, because you actually let Shane survive until the farm era. Because in the comics, spoiler, before they decide it is uninhabitable to stay at the camp, Shane during the winter tries to take a shot at Rick, and Carl is the one to actually kill off, will shoot the neck of Shane, and then later when they realize that as long as you die and you come back, you can become a walker, and Rick goes back to unbury Shane, which I like that idea. So I believe it's probably a good idea to do that again in season 2, which we'll get to because it was very near the end. But of course, I don't want to put that on Carl like the series actually did. I think the taking of innocence should be the Lori situation with Carl. So season 1 is basically perfect for a good setup. I would cut out meeting and dealing with the elderly home. Basically, so episode 1's the same. He goes in. Rick does drop the guns, and basically he would have to come back and get those still to find Merle still, but it still doesn't. I wouldn't extend that season. So instead of 6 episodes, it might be 6. If anything, I would actually show a little bit of their actual time on the road, to give us a little bit of comparison later in like season 5, how they are feral versus more civilized. Then let's go with season 2. They've been out on the road. Perfect dealing the deer scene to get Otis shooting Carl to get meds. Otis ends up getting betrayed by Shane. That's a good idea to keep. Then the Sophia hunt, I would not do. I don't like the idea of just killing off Sophia. Sophia is one of the biggest badasses of the entire comic series, and just to leave her, you made her mom the fucking badass. You should have done that. So Sophie does not get lost in the beginning of the season, and they go looking for her for most of it. I feel like what they should do is look around. That 50 men, the group of 50 men that was mentioned at the very end of the season should have been an actual thing. And this is where they should have actually started learning that people are a problem. Because they're very untrustworthy. The Rick and the gang have already felt untrustworthy towards people by the prison, and the only person that they feel betrayed by is Shane. Fucking Shane. And in the comics, the reason why they got scared is they ran into the governor, and the governor cut fucking Rick's hand off, and also sexually abused, raped, and also battered Michonne. Even I think he pulled a tooth or two, and then pulled all her fingernails out with pliers. I think Glenn was the only person that was really untouched because he actually let the information go about the group and all that. But it's just that's what triggered the group. So what I'd say is, instead of the Sophia scene, make it to where that little town was introduced earlier on, and they're dealing with a very sketchy group. And because Sophia died, I would replace. What's a good replacement here? Um, I think. That would be a good thing. Is Morales and the family don't stay in Atlanta? They follow the group, and um, basically the family does end up dying, but still, Morales is unconfirmed at the end of that season. So basically, through the little bit of a scaffold between the two, it brings in walkers from the surrounding areas, and there is that Randall scene, um, and basically this is where Shane ends up taking the initiative to kill off Rick. Um, but I would say he would use Randall as a reason that he died, um, and still kill off Randall. So basically, Rick's a little shady in my version, but it's not the worst thing he's done in the series. Um, so basically, season 1 is basically the same, just cut out the group that had the elderly people. Season 2, no Sophia stuff. And instead of it just being looking for Sophia in the lead up to Shane's portrayal, it's just this group of 50 men are going around. They kill Morales' family, and you have Morales unconfirmed so he can return at any time, which I believe the Saviors is probably the best time to reintroduce him. Um, but because you knew that family and kind of some of the group of it, you have some kind of connection to that, and it's 3 over just Sophia, who should not have been killed. Some of the best characters were killed super early in this run. Then, basically, Shane's betrayal happened during the Randall situation. He does have to bury Shane. I think the biggest thing is Rick does know that he betrayed Otis, and that'll be the reason why he pushes himself to cover up using Randall. Um, hell, bring that up. If he really has to come out and say it at the very end of the thing, like, this isn't when he basically becomes Rictatorship at the very end of the season. Still have all the walkers come in, kill Patricia because she really that wasn't that big after Otis died. Have Jimmy die. I'm trying to remember who else died. Jimmy, Patricia. Really, no one else died. So basically, it's just make it to where Shane wasn't turned into a walker. And he does have that scene where Rick has to go back to unbury him, and put him down as a walker. And then in season 3, let's see. I think that's probably the best part is to wait, no. I like the flu. The flu is where they'll learn about that it's not the virus. So season 3 still have all the government. I'd actually do not to the full extent because it was early covered up TV. Back then, you can't do what you did before, but do a little bit more like he did with Michonne, to Andrea and Michonne when they got him, and kind of him being the one to actually give a Merle a hand, and that's basically the reason why he so basically just the governor takes, instead of Rick's hand, he cuts off Merle's to free him. The Michonne situation, you do the Michonne, but not to the greatest extent or show it, and then Andrea will be the Glenn of the situation. And then when Merle does get a hold of Maggie and Glenn, actually no, that's what I'll suggest is, yeah, the Michonne will go to Maggie, and just Glenn gets the most of the beat up. So basically, the Glenn and Maggie capture situation still happens. The governor is the one who cut off Merle's hand, and it's basically it's just there's a few things. And I guess torturing Andrea will still be a thing that way. I feel like giving him that closure wasn't a thing that I wanted to happen in that series. So I feel like you don't give Andrea a relationship with him. Poor Dale. I'm still thinking it's a good idea to put him dead at season 2, because moral compasses, they're rare and they're very indisposable in the Walking Dead world. But anyway, season 3, else than how the governor does about things, everything basically does the same. No Andrea and governor relationship. Then let's see. I believe Merle shouldn't die at the end. Who could replace Merle for a big death is the question. I believe T-Dog, actually. Instead of killing him off in like the zombified area, just give them the scare of Carol, but have T-Dog try to be basically the sacrifice. Give him a good ending, like he did in the show. And then season 4, I like the flu stuff. Keep it in. Give that the reason why Rick has to go back to Barry Shane. I like the governor stuff. Basically, he tries to go back to civilization, but then he still holds the grudge. I very much love the middle, even though poor Herschel. I believe though there should be something at the end of season 4. In that mid-season, since we originally got the Lily killing off Lori, I believe pulling a Glenn dumpster scene, and instead of just having Carol back for a little, well, actually, that's what you can do. Is instead of Carol going missing, you have Sophia going missing in the prison, and you find her a little bit starved and dehydrated. But Carol will get shot in the back of the head by Lily. This making Lily turn her back on the governor and betray him, knowing that she just killed someone's mom. So even though Carol McBride, I think her last name is, I like her as a character, but I want her daughter to prosper like she was meant to do. Enid, love the character, but she basically took Sophia's story. So season 5, basically love it. The only thing I do not love is the Tyrese situation. And I believe you should have a kind of something similar where he doesn't just get killed by one zombie, but he tries to pull one of his great big multiple kills with his hammer. But he's just out of it, and he does end up getting bitten that way. So it's just, it shows to the group you cannot be, you have to have your mentality like completely like pushed to the side. I believe Beth should still be given a chance. But the thing is, you still got to have someone die in her place. So it's kind of scary about that one. Who could take Beth's place? I'm trying to think what happened. We know season 4 ended with the Terminus characters. I believe elongating that a little bit would be nice. But so basically, the termites are a little more longer than just the first few episodes. Kind of give them a bigger reason for the group to be running about. Still kill off Bob because I love that line. But you can't do Noah like I originally wanted to do because that would be kind of like hate speech, kind of, for killing 2 darker skinned people in a row. So you can't. Well, actually, it'd be 3, right? Bob, Bob Tyreeson. So you can't do that. I don't want to give up Beth, but it's real sounding like you really do. Just to get rid of the innocence of the group. I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to keep that, sadly. I didn't want to, but it sounds like I have to. And then, yeah, show the feral side. So it's the comparison. Have Aaron and oh crap, I keep forgetting his name. Poor guy. But introduce them, bring them to Alexandria. Start showing off that. Show the difference between the civilization and Rick. So basically, the second half is perfect for season 5. But season 6, I would avoid the amount of people that are going against Rick in the beginning, like that guy who was trying to constantly push Rick out of his position. That's one that I don't call for. I have a little bit of an argument of power, of course. But else than like the little bit of questioning stuff, because that's what Spencer did later. I would just not worry about that at the time, and giving people more reason. I'm gonna say it's a good idea to still do the Glenn dumpster scene because the fact that it gave everyone, it got everyone's blood boiling and made them come back just to see there was no body, so there has to be a chance that Glenn would be alive, so it gives a reason to come back to the series. Sorry, I'm really thinking all of this through. And then, I kind of like a lot of the back end season of 6. I'll keep that. So literally, season 6, the only thing that was wrong was the I think it was Toby or something going against him. No, not Tobin. Tobin was the guy that liked. Well, actually, that's another thing is we should have had more deaths. So because there is no Carol, you can kill Tobin off like he did in the original series, and have a few more of the other deaths. There's no Enid. So you can have the Maggie and Glenn story where she's actually like she's in shock of her mom being gone, and you have these other adoptive parents. Then season 7, she can be there when Glenn dies, but actually, I would like to keep Abraham alive for war. Um, the idea of Abraham surviving for war because of the fact he was a general, well, not a general, but the fact that he was a soldier makes it a very compelling point. Um, um, but still, I would give Glenn the reason why. Um, um, Even though I would really love to see a Glenn survival, it's very hard. It's like, what can you do? Because Glenn is the reason why there is that tension between Maggie and Negan, and Daryl. And then season 7, for the most part, is okay. I would still have Rick, being that backstabber he was, actually have Jesus, like, I know I'm playing it safe, but Jesus, I want you to go spying for me. That would be perfect. Um, make it look on the outside that Rick is surrendering, but he still has other people in and out for him. So there's that. Then crap. Then season. Yeah, I'm still liking Sasha's death at the end. That gives Abraham a pretty new good thing. Well, actually, that's the other thing is, should I kill her off? Actually, how about that? How about we kill off Andrea? I still like the Michonne relationship between Rick and Michonne. So we kill off Andrea and give her the big shock, even a bigger shock than Sasha did. So Sasha still lives and could give Abraham a kid. Um, and then season 8, instead of Carl dying, have Abraham as the guy who gets everyone into safety when Rick and others aren't there. So he's the one who gets bitten because he starts becoming that compass, but he's also in war. He's dealing with it. So I believe him being the mid-season death, um, still having Sasha having a kid now. So now there's 2 widows with 2 of the biggest character deaths in the entire Negan arc. So they can both blame Negan. And then season 8. I'd rather have a lot more bloodthirstiness in there. I mean, the back half, since we already killed off Abraham. And then season 9, we don't have Rick leaving. So basically, there's no giant time jump. And I'd say the Saviors actually are able to get along. So there is no lead up to Rick's leaving in this. So basically, it's just we're building a bridge. We all of a sudden noticing there's a lot of walkers coming this way. We try to avoid them from coming to this bridge. So sure, there's a little bit of a debacle between the Saviors and everyone, but they don't. It does get eventually dealt with that there's a worse threat because now walkers are still avoiding the Daryl's clock scene was one of the best things of season 9. So just don't jump 6 years later. So now we have basically everything is perfect for all of season 9. The horror vibes, the fact that there's these people that know in and out of a Walker horde. Season 10, let's see here. That's the Whisperer War, and I would say, um, I would let uh, how like Rick pulled in the March to War. Instead of getting a hold of Jesus, he just says, Negan, you want to get out of here, right? I got a little thing for you. And he, instead of Carol, it's Rick. And then I would give Sophia that break from Carl because they would be in a relationship, but they would have a break. Sophia would actually run to Henry, which I'm trying to figure out who I should give Ezekiel relationship. I guess I could give Sasha him, because Sasha had a few people in the series, so I would say Ezekiel would be willing to grab that up, and bring up Abraham's son or daughter, um, and they would still like adopt Henry. Um, I guess Morgan could be your connection to the rest of the shows. Um, so that, the big government slash super complexes are connected by Morgan, and I'd say Dwight would also be good. So those two would be a nice thing. I would say you might want to throw Daryl still out there, like give him a drive away path at the end of season 11. But anyways, back to it. Give Sophia Henry, still have Henry die. Instead of some of the more massive characters. Um, since we already have two father figures in the dirt at this point, I wouldn't kill off Ezekiel. Um, you can't really kill off. You would still have to kill off Sadiq, sadly, um, which would still put Rosita out of a biological father. But I'd say actually instead of him coming back, you would have that happen. And if anything, I might throw like a Carl or Sophia as the actual person to see everyone die. Since they're so close, their words can actually be heard a lot better than some guy that we just met last season. Well, a few seasons ago, and we barely had time with him. Season 11, though, now that you have Rick, you could have all this back and forth of how things are ran. You actually have people trying to pick up the pace, and I would say you can deal with it like you did, but it's one of those things where now that Rick and a few others have survived, I would actually focus on Carl and have Daryl and Daryl Michonne and Carl and Rick as teachers, and basically the sidekick is still Judith, and be like, okay, I'm gonna be the main guy now, trying to deal with two sides of war, and then I'll try to teach my little sister something on the way. And then even though the comics say Rick should die at the end of season 11, I believe you should connect the original Walking Dead to the bigger universe and have him die by the hands of the higher ups of them, and give a hell of a war between everything connected. So just you have these like three big strongholds against all these groups and communities across the world, the United States, and Rick Grimes connects all of them. And the hearing in the passage of time about Paul Revere, I think it is, just Rick Grimes is dead. Rick Grimes is dead. All those communities would just come in and swallow the strongholds as like a big giant war. That's what I would say is kind of make a giant movie that just says Rick has died due to this crap. Make it a 2-part, 3-part series movie trilogy, but make it to where everything comes in together, kind of like an MCU kind of setup. But anyways, that's it for this video. I actually gotta go get ready to go to work. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.